Well, in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, violent attacks and harassment toward Asian Americans spiked. Years later, those headlines have mostly faded, but the AAPI community says the hate has not gone away. Sharon Yu shows us the aftermath of one local incident and how grassroots groups are lifting the voices of those who feel they have not been heard.
A lot of things came out of COVID.
It was the hate note. We're watching you take the Chinese virus back to China.
Specifically, a lot of hate.
Last year, we received over 2,800 incidents of racism across the nation. We started in March last year, and we were immediately flooded with hundreds of incidents a day, and they were just horrific.
But even with COVID's slower pace compared to the last 2 years, hate hasn't slowed down with it, specifically in schools like this video that surfaced in Edina March of 2022. The video on Instagram showed several of her classmates using fake Asian accents, one boy doing the Nazi salute.
Then there are other girls in the room laughing, and then the camera switches to another girl doing an Asian accent.
According to a national survey from 2021, 1 in 3 parents said that they were concerned that their child was going to be a victim of anti-AAPI hate in an unsupervised area or on the way to school. Of the reported hate incidents from March 2020 to March 2022, 9% of those incidents occurred at a school, a college, or a university. But since that March video, a lot has changed within Edina Public Schools. The Edina Asian American Alliance formed in response to the video. Parents, students, and former students like Isa Lee spurred to take action.
I wasn't surprised, watching my classmates do that. It was definitely to be expected, but it was still disappointing nonetheless.
Lee, who has since graduated, says the roles EAAA plays in the community vary, from advising policy to advocacy work. They're a community liaison.
We're in regular correspondence with district officials and administrators. So working with the district has been really enlightening. I've learned a lot, and they are open to hearing what everyone has to say.
Parent liaison of EAAA, Kelly Condit Shrestha, says they've helped with structural changes too, like establishing a clear reporting system for incidents of bias.
Post-March incident, I think it was just evidence that they weren't equipped for a fully responsive and satisfactory response after that. And so through this partnership, that's what we're trying to support.
As for Sabi Mirza, current senior at EHS and also student liaison, he says his personal comfort level has changed.
Before March, I would not have known what to do. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have reported it just simply because of the fact that it seemed like a lot of work for no reason and a way to paint a target on my back.
Why is it on the people of color to fix this?
I think in an ideal world it wouldn't be, but at the end of the day, we're the ones directly impacted. We see, or we know what it feels like. We're the ones who have to deal with the consequences. And while it would be nice to some extent for other people to reach out or to try to bridge a gap, at the end of the day, they're living in a state of ignorance, and it's not by choice. It's the fact that they just simply don't understand.
We can make all of these policy changes, we can implement all these new rules, but at the end of the day, what really needs to change is the culture. And how do you do that? How do you change culture? And so with EAAA, I feel like that's what we're working towards.
Lee reminding us that a culture shift involves advocating for all groups under pressure.
Making sure that when we're talking about issues of racism and inequity, we're including all groups, and that this isn't just a problem that's limited to the Asian American community. So.
Well, the Edina Asian American Alliance can be reached at edinaasianamericanalliance@gmail.com. Another helpful resource is a coalition of Asian American leaders.